The case of Legarda vs. Saleeby GR number 8936. A stone wall on plaintiff's land was mistakenly registered under both plaintiffs' and defendants' Torrens titles. The Supreme Court ruled plaintiffs with earlier registration owned the wall, prioritizing earlier title under the Torrens system. Facts of the case. 1. Adjoining lots in the wall. Plaintiffs Consuelo Legarda and her husband Mauro Prieto own a lot in Ermita, Manila, adjacent to the lot owned by defendant N.M. Saleeby. A stone wall exists on the plaintiff's lot, separating the two properties. 2. Plaintiff's land registration. On March 2, 1906, plaintiffs applied to register their lot under the Torrens system. The court granted their petition on October 25, 1906, issuing a certificate of title that included the wall. 3. Defendant's land registration. The defendant's predecessor applied to register his lot on March 25, 1912. The court granted the petition, and the certificate of title also included the wall. 4. Discovery of the error. On December 13, 1912, plaintiffs discovered that the wall was included in both certificates. They petitioned the court to correct the error, but the lower court denied the petition, reasoning that plaintiffs failed to object during the defendant's registration process. Double registration. The wall and the land it occupies were registered in the names of both plaintiffs and defendant, though the wall is not a joint wall. The issue of the case. 1. Who owns the wall and the land it occupies, given the double registration under the Torrens system? 2. Does the failure of the plaintiffs to object during the defendant's registration process affect their ownership of the wall? Ruling. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of the plaintiffs, holding that the owner of the earlier certificate of title prevails in cases of double registration. The judgment of the lower court was reversed. The court ordered the correction of the error in the defendant's certificate of title and reaffirmed the plaintiff's ownership of the wall and the land it occupies. The ratio of the case. Priority of registration. Under the Torrens system, when land is registered in the name of two different persons, the earlier registration prevails. This rule is consistent with the purpose of the Torrens system, which is to provide certainty and quiet title to land. Finality of registration. A registered title is conclusive and binding against all persons, including the government, once the registration is finalized. It cannot be altered or challenged except in specific cases of fraud or within the prescribed period. Notice to the world. The registration of land under the Torrens system serves as notice to all persons. Any purchaser or claimant is charged with knowledge of the registered title, and ignorance of the registration does not excuse a party from the consequences of prior registration. No obligation to monitor proceedings. The holder of a registered title is not required to constantly monitor land registration proceedings to protect their title. The Torrens system is designed to provide security of title, and the holder of the earlier certificate is entitled to rely on the conclusiveness of their registration. Innocent purchaser exception. The court clarified that a purchaser from the holder of the later certificate cannot be considered an innocent purchaser, if the land was already registered under an earlier certificate. The prior registration serves as constructive notice, precluding any claim of innocence.